Greetings everyone, my name is Bobby Olan and welcome to my Platypus knitting channel. I am here today to do a video that I have been meaning to do for a while, which is to go through my entire stash. I was going to do it early 2025, but yesterday I found out that Lisa of 11T1 Windmills is holding a secret stash busting sock along next year, and the idea is to wrap up some bundles of yarn for making socks, and then throughout the year unwrap them and knit a pair of socks from them. So it's like making little advents almost for yourself from your stash to make socks, which I think is a brilliant idea, and it's a great opportunity for me to actually go through all of my yarn, reorganize it, get some stuff into project bags, and wrap up those bundles so that they are ready to go. So you can see here in the next room, I have pulled out all of my yarn. There is a lot, and sometimes, I like my collection of yarn. I really love most of the yarn that I have, but sometimes the amount that I have stresses me out a little. But I do also think part of that is because I can't see most of it, so most of it is in bags or it's hidden away in closets, because at the moment I don't have a nice way to display them where they are all visible. So most of it will still be staying in those bags. I'll probably put in the big Muji tubs here, I'll put like sweater quantities and things that I know or I don't think I'll be touching in a while. I'm going to put projects that I know for sure that I want to work on this year, or that I hope that I want to work on this year, into project bags, so that they are organized and ready to go, and then everything else I will just reorganize as best I can. The very first thing that I am going to do is to, oh, I hid myself there. The very first thing that I am going to do is to empty a couple of clear bags that I have of fleece. So I'm going to empty that into a big tub that I have under my desk, which currently contains the lineup of next sewing projects that I want to do, and that fleece that I bought 2 or 3 years ago is going to be the next spinning project that I want to do. And then if I can store a lot of my yarn into these plastic bags, then I can see where most of it is. So I think my plan is sweater quantities in the Muji bags there, and then I'm going to do those project bags that I talked about, and then for everything else I think I'll probably organize it into socks, acrylic content, cotton content, or I should say like socks will be one, and then there will be synthetic, cellulose, and protein, and within those I guess I will figure it out. So I better get stuck into it, because that is a lot to organize. Wish me luck. Where do I even start? My original plan was to lay everything out on the bed, but I don't think there's going to be space. So, my plan number 1, this box here, I have some of the Pearl Soho flats down that I will be using to make the optic blanket this year as part of Mad About You's Gucci blanket knit along. So I'm going to get all of that yarn in here, if I can fit it. Alright, scratch plan number 1. It's not going to fit in there. Let's see if it fits in this tote bag from Crafty Cottage instead. Alright, one bag down. That's that. Oh. Alright, that's one. This bag, at the moment, it contains all of the minis from the yarn advent from 11T1 windmills that I just finished going through for this Vlogmas. I'll leave that there for now, and if I find any other minis, I'll pop them there. They're the other minis I was looking for. These were from, they were from the 11T1 Windmills Advent a couple of years ago. So 3 minis from Scoop Rope Yarn Co. I think that's it. That's all my yarn. The only yarn that isn't here are some like scraps that are in some jars in my room, in my crafting room, but also the bits of yarn that I have dyed with the Spinners and Weavers Guild. They're in their own special jar as well, so they aren't here. Also, none of my fibre is here because yesterday I managed to get all of that into like one little cubbyhole section, aside from that fleece that I showed you at the start of the video, which I got from Baylor Blacks, and I'm very keen to spin that. I feel like it needs a bit of a steam, plus of course it needs flicking. Anyway, that's not what we're here for. Alright, so Pearl Soho optic blanket, that vest in here, all of my minis in this bag here, which I do have plans for, a project to try and use them all together. We'll see how that goes. In this corner here, we have some tweed, my favorite type of yarn. This I bought from the Wondoflex bargain room a long time ago. So you can see I've got three sweater quantities there, plus a little bit of extra grey. And I only don't have a service quantity of the grey because they didn't have any left. I got everything that they had left, and for everything else, I don't know if I just completely bought out everything that there was because I love tweed yarn so much, or if I've actually looked at quantities. I can't remember. I have only used some of this brown one in a beanie for my partner, and because they are all singles, it was a bit pilly, so he didn't love it. So even a beanie that doesn't get a lot of friction, he was finding to be quite pilly. So that's something that I'll have to think about when I use it. Also, this end color here is probably the only color that suits me according to my personal color analysis that I did recently. These two are too dark, and I think light gray wasn't complimentary for me either. So to be honest, I mean, this one might be okay actually because chocolate was fine for me. So I'll have to think about that when I plan what to make with those, whether I still make things for myself or I end up making things for other people in them. But to be honest, I really do like all of those colors, so I may just keep them anyway, and to hell with whatever makes me look my best. So that is that there. We'll keep up on the pillows here. I have in a bag here some more yarn that I got from that bargain room in Wondoflex. So this is pure alpaca. So a lot of like these I kind of bought before I knew too much about different fiber qualities and about like plies. How the number of plies in the yarn affects the yarn. So singles, I probably wouldn't have bought that if I knew what I know now. 100% alpaca, I have just been struggling to think of what to make with that. I'll probably just end up doing like a scarf or a shawl or something because it will just grow so much and it has no elasticity. This messy little bundle here is what I have put aside to make myself a cactus hand. So that needs to go in its own project bag. These are the trio of Sean's yarns that I bought at the Shape Show earlier this year. They are all different colorways, but I want to find a way to use the three skeins together, so they'll get bundled up together. Okay, and then this here is my Bendigo Woolen Mills corner. So I've got some tweed. Light grey, not a great color for me, so I'm not sure what I'll do with that. I may actually even make something and then over dye it. I have a little bit of the yellow tweed left here that I used to make my flare pullover, which I've been wearing a lot recently. I have some beautiful Celeste here, which I think has a little bit of alpaca content in it, so it'll be extra warm. My partner likes this color, so I've earmarked it for a sweater for him. This is one ball of rustic that I actually have more of this, plus another colorway that's more like a beige colorway in a project bag. This is the only ball that hadn't been broken into, but I'm probably going to rip out that project. I have a whole lot of Indigo Woolen Mills Classic here. A couple of them are fingering weight, most of it is DK. I do have sweater plans to try to use all of those together as well. I have a tiny little bit of luxury 10 ply. That's another 4 ply there. I think this one and this one are actually luxury 4 ply. So let me move this one over because that's a classic. And then I have some Galaxy here, which was their one of their old bamboo blends. And then recent acquisitions for them, I have some cotton here. These two have a bit of spandex in them, so I'm curious about using that for socks. All right, next big bundle. First, I've got a couple of cones here. Next big bundle is my Tandy collection here. So these are all, well, most of these are hand dyes. I've got some lime water left over from the sweater I made earlier. This is left over from that sweater too, but I'm thinking possibly I could group it with these hand dyes, which are a slightly different colorway. I have some of their lace here, and a couple of 4-ply odds there. This section here is all of my hand spun. These littler balls here are mostly from when I did the beginner's spinning course with the Spinners and Weavers Guild Victoria. So I do want to turn my hand spun into a project. Some of them I do have earmarked to make a muffler. This sea of black here is some yarn that I got from my mother-in-law. She gave me a lot. She had a lot of it. And I have already made a vest out of it. I don't know, I think I have just under a sweater's quantity left here. So we'll see, I'll figure out something to do with that. Down here, I have a whole lot of singles, most of which is sock yarn, but there are some special things in here too. This is a hand dye that I got while I was in Japan. This is a lovely Peruvian Highland wool that I got gifted from Sarah Taylor of the Taylor Made podcast and the Maker's Corner. This is a lovely linen that I bought that I thought that I would put towards this project here, but since I was able to get all of the same yarn for that there, I'll find another project for that. Some eggshell bunny, a sock set there. This is some more linen here, this tiny little hidden skein there. And I have my little mohair collection here, which I am still worried that I'm allergic to. This skein I am really excited about. It's actually 2 skeins in one, and one of them is a mohair and one of them is a coil yarn, I think you'd call it, which I got from Melbourne City Dye Works at the First Sheets Crafty Market. This big green one here is Fairfield Fin that I got on my first sheep show, which has just reminded me of something actually, sorry. First sheep show, I have a plan to make a sweater out of that. It should be just enough. This is another cotton blend that I'm curious to try making socks with, and get a whole lot of sock yarns here. I'm just going to get that thing that I forgot about before I forget. This set here from Culland columned yarn, which was a beautiful, neat little wreath that you can see I've mangled it a bit there, but I want to make a weaving project out of that. Where am I? Okay, oh, this little bundle here is my Cascade 220s. I have here some cottons, alpaca, cotton yarn, alpaca, no, not alpaca. Why do I keep saying alpaca? All right, start again. Cotton, 100% cotton. And then here I have some acrylic blends. These are either acrylic blends or pure acrylic. This one here is a bamboo cotton from Lion brand yarn. And I've got some more like some sub yarns here, some partial stains. This here is the Peyton's Wanderer 8 ply, which I have loved making socks with, but it has been discontinued. So these are all I have left, apart from a couple of little itty bitty leftovers. And then I have a top planned for this wool bamboo blend that I got from Spotlight. A few more leftover itty bitties here. And then this section here, let's see. So this is some linen rami cotton that I got from Japan, that I'll be making a top with for myself at some point. More Japan yarn here and there. This I bought, so Sunspun, which is another one of my local yarn stores, they had a closing for renovation sale, which it started at the start of December, at the start of this month, and I only heard about it like 2 days before they were closing for the year, and also for a couple of months so that they can do renovations. I really wish I had found out about it sooner, but I've been so busy I haven't been checking Instagram or newsletters or anything. Anyway, I had always planned to get from them some Knitting for Olive pure silk, and this was one of the only colors that they had left that would have given me enough to make a top out of. So I got that color, not my favorite color, but I do like it. And then I got some 100% cashmere, again, Knitting for Olive here. I'm just gonna come around actually. So this is the one that I'm really kicking myself about, because this colorway here, which is I think, what is it, Rose Clay, I wanted to use this to make the pink fizz for my friend that I have talked about before, but they only had this one ball left. So I grabbed it so that I could swatch. But yeah, I'm going to do a swatch holding it together with this Momonoki yarn here, which is a wool silk blend. So I'm going to do a swatch. I'm going to swatch those two held together, and I'm going to swatch those two held together. This one's an alpaca, and I'll see what my friend likes. But that is all from the Sunspun sale recently. Have I missed anything? Black, not one of my recommended colors. Yeah, I think that's it. I need to do the projects first. I need to get the sweater quantities in those big tubs. And not find homes for it. I need to put it all back where it came from. Alright, I better just get to it. Okay, that is done. It took not as long as I thought that it would, which is obviously fantastic. And I freed up 6 totes, which is excellent. No, 6 bags, including 1 backpack that you would have seen on the bed, the grey one that I bought because it was made of wool, but I don't actually use a lot because it's kind of heavy. Anyway, here is those jars of leftover yarns that I was telling you about. So I've got some 8-ply leftovers in there, 4-ply, oh no, just a mix in here of smaller quantities, few itty bitty tiny scraps in my little gingerbread man here. And my hand dyed yarns that I talked about as well. So they're all sorted. And someone is calling me, so I'll be back with you in a tick. Okay, I'm back. I don't know where I was. I think I was just showing you where I was at, or how I'd sort of organized everything, which you kind of already would have saw, but I thought I'd give you a bit of a close-up. So let me just rotate this a bit so that you can see where I store everything too. I don't know why you want to, but you're going to now. So in this box here is, I meant to look up that top. I have all of that yarn that I purchased for that vest project, which I looked up is called the Highland Spring Vest. So that is one project. In Muji tub number 1, which is excellent because it has so many handles and is meant to be waterproof and all that, is this is my tweed box basically. So all of my tweed yarn is in here. So all of those naturally New Zealand single tweeds that I had sweater quantities of, the Bendigo Woolen Mills tweed, and this odd ball of Four Seasons Montana, which is a wool acrylic visco blend that has some tweed in it. Oh, I'm gonna label a lot of the stuff so that I don't go rummaging through it all and mess things up. Muji box number 2, and I refuse to buy more of these boxes because there was a point where my whole yarn stash fit in the 2 boxes pretty much. So even though it's like twice as big now, I refuse to get more. So in this box I have a lot of my I was gonna call it special yarns, but like most of my yarn is special. They're all just special in different ways. So in this box I have like the Tandies, the Knitting for Olives, the Culland yarn is here. I'm no longer, it used to be hanging up here, but that's how it kept getting like messed up and sort of like tangled and unraveled. I've also got that whole lot of the black yarn, and the Cascade yarns, and then a couple of other odd Aran worsted weight yarns. Yeah, but that lovely wool linen blend is here, the cashmeres, the pure silk, and all of the Tandies. I think I said that already, but that's that one. I don't really know what to label this, but because it has quite a lot more variety than the other one, maybe I'll just leave it unlabeled and let myself rummage. So I filled up those plastic tub things, and I'm really happy about how that has worked out, because I can just see the yarn that's in it. It's chock full and it's colorful and it's so much fun. They are the plastic baggy things that my my things, what do you call them? These things, that's what they came in. I actually bought 2 sets of those. I had one set for ages, but I found when I was blocking like a sweater in pieces, I just didn't, there weren't actually enough. So I have 2 sets, which is maybe a bit extreme, but it works for me. Okay, so number 1 is my Bendigo Woolen Mills bag, which also has a few, sorry about all the crinkling. So mostly Bendigo Woolen Mills. It has a couple of odd single skeiny bits here, which is a couple of the Daruma yarns I bought. So these 2, which is a scrubby yarn and the Sasawashi, which I'm going to use to make a headband. And then bag number 2 is mostly all of the single skein stuff. So just naturally that ends up containing like most of like the sock yarns. This one here, the black, that's the only one that there are 2 skeins of in here. Oh, I should have taken that out of the bottom so that I could see the yarns that are sitting at the bottom. But you can kind of see the tops of them along the bottom there anyway. Yeah, all the mohairs, because they're single skeins. Hope that doesn't fall. Okay, next, what can I show you next? Oh, in this basket here, so on the outside, I have my 2 cones. Whoop. My 2 cones of yarn here. And then in this pocket, I have this. This is the cashmere yarn that I had left over from machine knitting a scarf for my sister a couple of years ago. I have a shawl planned for that project. And then in this bag here, I have that cactus hand crochet project. And then in the basket bit here, I have, well, this project here, which has blue self-striping and self-patterning yarns that I have earmarked for the V-back tee. I've been wanting to make that for ages. And then the rest of what's in here is my acrylics, cottons, microfibers. So that's in there. You don't have a great angle of it, but in here, in this project bag that I crocheted, the pattern is the box set bag. I actually want to put this through another short run in the washing machine to try to felt it a little bit more. But in here I have this 4 corners bag that I still have to put handles on, plus the sweater that I was designing a million years ago using the rustic Bendigo Woolen Mills rustic yarn. But I'm really just not cut out to be a designer. I'm not loving the project that I had designed, and it's kind of just been sitting here. So at some point I am going to frog that, but for now I'll leave that in there. This cubby here has, like, this little square has all of my fleece in it, aside from that all of my fiber for spinning aside from that fleece. And then down here I have like old clothes and things that aren't worth donating to an op shop, so not that, but at some point I want to cut them all up into strips and make rag rugs or rag baskets or something like that. And then here, up here, that's another old clothes that just doesn't fit in there. Here I have a bunch of old sheets that have like holes and things like that in them. And what I want to do with that is, I've seen projects where people make quilts, but to make them more lightweight, instead of putting batting as the middle layer of the sandwich, they'll just put a sheet in there. So that's what I'm thinking I'll do with that there. One day, all of these one day projects. What have I got left? Okay, so this is that bag that I put all of the yarn for the optic blanket in. Sure takes up a lot of room. And then I have most of my hand spun is in here. The rest of my hand span is in this bag here, which I completely destroyed by putting it in the washing machine. But in this bag is all of the hand spun that is like this particular yarn. In here I put those 3 skeins of Shan's yarns. That's all that's in here. It's such a small bag. I don't need to label that one. In this lovely bag here, that's the front, I put all of that yarn that I am intending for the Pink Fizz sweater. And then my bag of minis. So the Tandy minis, some of which are 8 ply, the Mayak, and pretty much all various Advent yarns from 11T1 Windmills Advents. Okay, all that's left to show you, let me readjust this again so I can sit down. Okay, so what I have left that I'm going to wrap up after I take some photos to share are the 6 sock sets that I have put together for the 11T1 Windmills Secret Stash Busting Sock Along 2025. So I feel like, well, hopefully I'll forget what's in them, because they're all quite different bundles that I feel like once I pick one up, I'll know what it is, and I'll want to sort of like do a mystery grab bag and not try to choose what I know is in there. Anyway, let me just show you. Number one is this here, which is actually 2 different sock bundles in one, because for one, I want this to be the main yarn and this to be the heels, toes, and possibly cuffs. And for the other one, because I don't think I have enough, I think it could be quite nice to do that as the main color and this as the cuff, heels, and toes. So I'm going to wrap those together. Yeah, I'm going to wrap those together, so when I pull these out, I'll be pulling out 2 socks at once. Then there is this here, which is the Regia Perfect skein that I bought a while ago, because I'm so intrigued by this notion that it's dyed so that you get 2 exactly perfectly matching socks. I do actually have another yarn that was meant to do the same thing, but I somehow completely stuffed up the first sock, and then I unraveled it, and that was so long ago that now I'm not going to get perfectly matching because I won't know which end to start from. So anyway, so that's 1, 2, 3. Next up is this here, which is the, what's in it? It's a wool cotton blend. So I'm very interested to see how this knits up for socks. I'm hoping that the cotton sort of just helps make for a cooler sock, but still with the elasticity of the wool. This is another set here. So I have actually already made a pair of socks with this exact combination, but that was a color work sock, and it was a terrible combination for that because just was. Because this has darker bits in it that when they were next to this, you like couldn't really tell them apart. So there wasn't enough contrast, so the color work pattern got all like completely lost in it. So this maybe I'll try doing striping socks, because I haven't done striped socks before, but I mean, I'll decide once I unwrap everything. And the last one is this here, which I'm leaving in the bag. So this is one of the recent purchases that I made at Bendigo Woolen Mills. So you can see it's an 8 ply, it's spring cotton, and it is 99.6% cotton and 0.4% spandex. So that is another one that I just bought because I was curious to see if it would work for socks, if that tiny little bit of spandex is going to be enough to give the cotton enough give so that it's comfortable to get on your foot and wear as socks and hold its shape. So that is 6 pairs of socks there. Most of these I think are going to be for me because my partner reckons that he has enough socks and he refuses to let me buy more socks, more sock yarn for him. He wants me to spend as much as I want to on yarn for myself, but he doesn't want me to spend for him because he's very, very sweet and he thinks that I should reap the benefits of my work and my crafting. So yeah. And also, like, I have found that I'm not really motivated to make socks for myself. I really like making socks for him. But because this is part of a knit along, hopefully that's going to give me the motivation to like do it and get them out. So yes, my goal at the moment is 6 socks, so 1 pair every 2 months. And of course I will be making other projects in, around, and amongst that too. But anyway, that was all that I had to share for my stash reorganization. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope that you enjoyed seeing my my big collection there, and yeah. I'd love to hear from you. How does my stash compare to yours? Was there anything in there that you were really sort of like intrigued by or like the look of? If there are any of those less common yarns that you've worked with, I'd love to know how they knit up for you or crocheted up for you. So anything that you want to chat to me concerning stash, please leave a comment below. And if you've made it this far and you've enjoyed what you've seen, I would really appreciate it if you hit that like button and subscribe as well if you haven't already done so. That is it for me today. Thank you so much for spending your time here with me. I guess I will see you in the new year. Until then, fare thee well.